Hello bride, hello groom, hello perhaps mother of the bride or witness or just a wedding lover. I'm very happy that you're here with me at this Wedding Secret channel. Yeah, my name is Simone. I'm a wedding planner since already more than 20 years. And I have already accompanied more than 400 couples to make their dream wedding come true in the last 20 years. And yeah, why are you here? I'm here, you are here because I'm sure that you are very interested in weddings in general. There are so many different channels, books, websites. There is so much information already about weddings. But what I was missing in the last years is a person who has the experience, a wedding planner who wants to help the brides and the couples in general to create their dream wedding. That doesn't mean that you have to do it all alone on yourself. You are here because you want to know more about weddings in general. My purpose is to make you understand the whole wedding as not one big, endless, horrible, let's say, issue that you don't know where to start with. I'm here to explain you everything from the beginning until the end. So this channel is here. I would really love to make it quite interactive. That means that ask the questions you want. Please feel free to contact me. Give me your feedback, give me your comments. Subscribe, of course. This would make me really happy because I'm here to answer all the questions you have as a bride, as a groom, as perhaps a witness, as I said, or perhaps you're the mother of the bride and you see your daughter lost in space with so many things or tasks. So my idea is to guide you through the whole wedding planning in this channel. I will give you also some fun facts and some anecdotes and a lot of stories around the weddings. But the next, let's say 20 chapters in this channel are about the different steps you have to do. I think my dogs are just getting crazy out there, so I will present them to you later. Charlie and Handsome. They might disturb a little bit during these sessions, but that's fine, they're super cute. So yeah, what we were talking about is the next chapters are actually about the different pillars of wedding planning. I will try to make it as easy to understand as possible. I have to say that when I was at school, I was always very good explaining things quite simple. So people really understand the most important parts. Because we can talk hours and hours and hours about decoration, but this is something we can do more later in a later stage. But in the beginning, you need to understand the whole big concept. Actually, I have written a book, what is called Wedding with a Sea View, because most of my clients are doing destination weddings in Mallorca, where I live. It's a beautiful Mediterranean island. We're surrounded by the sea, and many of my couples love sea views. But the thing is the following. You can get married in Hawaii, or you can get married in California, or in New York, or in Siberia, because it doesn't matter. You really need to understand the same thing, the same things, let's say like this, the same pillars. You need to have a certain idea about your wedding group size. You need to have an idea about your budget. You need to have an idea about the style of the wedding. When you know these factors, I will go more into details in the next chapters. When you know about these details, then you can start looking at really interesting things. I will go through a few really important points so that you know what we will talk about. The first thing is you have to be quite clear with yourself. What do I want? So sit together with your fiancé, talk about your dream wedding, and then perhaps he has a certain kind of idea of his dream wedding. and you have another idea about your dream wedding, so you have to find a common solution. And then there are a few important parts, let's say what I said before, the group size, where you want to do it, when you want to do it, and also the budget. And this whole, let's say 4 pillars, determine a lot what you're going to contract afterwards. So first of all, you have to be quite clear with yourself, what do I really want? And then you can start looking at. And these are the chapters we will go a little bit more into detail. The first really big important part is the venue, the wedding venue. I always compare wedding planning with building a house. You cannot start with the roof. You cannot start with the roof, or you cannot start with painting the walls. Because first of all, you need to have the base, you need to have the ground, you need to build a structure, and then you can fill this house with ornaments, with roofs, with doors, with windows. And this is the same thing what we have to do at the wedding planning. We need the venue. The venue is very important, it's the most important base for your whole wedding. I will go much more into details when we come to that chapter, but this is a very, very important point. The next very important point, of course, is the budget. I will talk a little bit more about the budget in general, because of course, in my last 20 years, I've done weddings with big budgets, and I have done weddings with smaller budgets. So the process is the same. The choice of the suppliers, of the venues, of the wines, of the food, of everything is what in the end makes your wedding special, and what has to fit into your ideas and into your budget, of course. So the budget is a very, let's say, limiting factor of the whole thing, and a very important factor too. The invitations can be in very different ways. You can do it paperless post, you can do it in a classic way, you can first send out save the dates, you can do a wedding website. So there is a lot to say already. Then we have the catering. With the catering, I don't refer only for catering companies, because sometimes the venue has a kitchen itself, the kitchen staff itself, the waiters itself. That means that I'm talking about food and beverage, a very important part. For the men, very much beverage, very important, but also food is very important. If you're not a foodie, and at least there is enough of everything. So very important part, food and beverage. Then we talk about all the suppliers, what I call the people-related suppliers, like photographers or musicians, or your hair and makeup lady, your stylist, your wedding planner. That means that these suppliers are very important, because you might like the style of one certain person. That means that if this person is not available anymore on that day, it cannot be at your wedding. They cannot clone themselves. So this is also an important part, and you shouldn't leave it for too late. Then we have, of course, and now all the brides are like, wow, decoration, flowers. There is obviously a lot to say. The different styles are so individual, and also the trends are changing. I remember in my last 20 years, when I see now pictures from weddings from 15 years ago, I think, oh my God, I wouldn't do that again now. But of course it changes, and 15 years ago it was beautiful. So yeah, let's talk about decoration, flowers, and then we're coming to the next part, what is lights, illumination. This is such an important part. A lot of people forget it, but with the right light, you can enhance your venue so much. It makes such a big difference. It's so important that people see what they eat, for example, and that you have like a part of decoration in the light already. So very important part. Then the next 2 parts, the next 2 chapters are not very glamorous, but very important, especially for me as a wedding planner, because of course, I'm behind the scenes, and if these two very important things are not well organized, then the whole wedding, it can be the most beautiful one, but it will be a disaster. And it will be, or it is, the transportation and the plan B in case of rain. I know nobody wants to talk about that because transportation, it's something necessary, but like it's not at all glamorous. Transportation, it's like a coach can be more beautiful, have leather seats, or it can be orange, but in the end of the day, the purpose is that your guests arrive on the same time and they can leave and don't get stuck in the middle of nowhere because there are no taxis available. So very important subject, transportation. And the other one, plan B, plan B in case of rain, very important. I know that there, yes, it makes a difference. The different, let's say, destinations for weddings have different, the rain has different probability, let's say it like this. I'm living on a Mediterranean island, and I have most of my clients are coming from abroad, from Germany, Australia, also New York, actually all around the world, because the climate here, it's beautiful in summer and normally it should not rain. But I always have to talk with my clients about the plan B in case of rain. Because it's not a children's birthday party where you are all together in the living room and have fun if it's raining. No, I promise you, if you have no plan B and it's raining, you will not have fun. So very important to talk about this. And then we have a few smaller, let's say smaller subjects, but they are also important. The gifts, the guest gifts, you give your guests some of, let's say fans or some small olive bottle or whatever. You can have hundreds, thousands of different things, like a nice giveaway for your guests. Or also, what should the guests give you as a gift? So let's talk about this part. Then we also have the stationery part, like menu cards, seating plan, table numbers, name cards. Now it's very common to have a beautiful stationery, to have this with a lot of details. Then something what actually from my experience, the couples with children think this is very important, and the couples, they don't have children yet, don't think so much about it. It's the subject childcare at weddings, because of course, if you don't have children, or let's do it the other way around, if you have children, you know how unrelaxed you are when your child is not entertained and you're not enjoying a party at all if you have to take care of your super enthusiastic child because it's a wedding. And from my experience, children at weddings are just hyperactive all the time. So let's talk about childcare. And then we have a few more very interesting subjects. This is the flow of the wedding, because of course, if you have a wedding planner, then he might, or she, most of the time it's a she, but yeah, she or he should take care of the flow of the wedding. She should or has to take care that everything works out as you have planned it. But sometimes there is no wedding planner. How can you make sure that the flow of the day is guaranteed? Because there are many things what take into consideration already planning the wedding. Let's talk about the flow of the day. Very important that the day, it's not only nice and beautiful for you, but also for your guests. This is something what you most probably want. And then the last chapter I had to edit actually during the pandemic, because I was starting to write my book already 2.5 years ago, so before the pandemic has started. And then, you know, sometimes in the last 20 years it happened that one of the couples split up and they had to cancel the wedding, or they got pregnant and they had to postpone it. But it was not something what happened a lot of time. It happened sometimes. But of course, coronavirus everything paralyzed, whole world paralyzed, weddings completely paralyzed. You didn't know when you can celebrate again, can you celebrate again? So the whole subject of cancellation of weddings, postponing weddings, wedding insurances. So it's also not a very glamorous subject, but we have to talk about it. I am sure, I'm really 100% sure that you will learn a lot in the next hours, what you will spend with me or what we will spend together, because this process, what I'm doing with you, is a process what I am doing normally with each couple on an individual base. Of course, now with the YouTube channel, I cannot go so much into your details, but you will get a much better idea how everything works, what you should have to take care of, what is something you can leave for later on. Don't think how to decorate the bar room if you don't have a bar room yet. Things like that. So yes, I am looking very much forward to all what is coming, everything what is coming, your questions, your feedback. Please follow, subscribe, and yeah, I would love to be part of your journey in the next month. Bye bye, and I hope to see you soon.